Nobody knew that Queen Elizabeth's 30 minutes with a dying 7-year-old in that hospital would change her life forever. What the child whispered in her ear brought the 96-year-old Queen to tears. Within the cold walls of Windsor Castle, Elizabeth would never forget that night. "I've been Queen for 70 years, she whispered to herself, but what that child taught me, she couldn't sleep that night. Emily's flower drawing, clutched in her hands, had become her most precious treasure. But what she didn't know yet was that this meeting was only the beginning. It wasn't on Elizabeth's daily schedule at all. This sudden visit to Great Ormond Street Hospital was entirely her own decision. At 96, she was feeling the exhaustion of official visits, but when she woke up that morning, the voice inside her was too powerful to ignore. "Your Majesty should have been briefed," worried her private secretary Angela Kelly. Security protocols, media coordination, but Elizabeth was determined. "Angela, I've followed protocols for 70 years. Today I just want to talk to a child. No protocol, no cameras, just being human." Angela was surprised. She'd never seen the Queen like this. There was a different determination in her eyes, as if she was searching for something lost. When they arrived at the hospital, head nurse Dr. Sarah Mitchell led her directly to the oncology ward. "Your Majesty, our little patient Emily is here, the one I mentioned. She's 7 years old," and her voice trailed off. "Her condition is very critical. Her family died in a car accident last month. She has no one now." Elizabeth's heart tightened. The child wasn't just fighting death, she was completely alone too. "Your Majesty, there's something else," said Dr. Mitchell hesitantly. "Emily knows you're coming," one of the healthcare workers told her. "The child is very excited, but she also says she has something to tell you." But what they saw when they entered that room would become one of the most powerful moments in Elizabeth's 70-year reign. Little Emily sat in her bed, drawing a picture. Her hair had fallen out from chemotherapy, but there was a brightness in her eyes that Elizabeth had never seen before. When the child looked up and saw Elizabeth, she wasn't surprised at all. "Hello," Emily simply said. "Are you the Queen because you don't have a crown on your head?" Elizabeth laughed. For 70 years, Emily was the first person to speak to her so directly. "Yes, I'm Elizabeth. The crown isn't always on my head. Who are you, beautiful?" "I'm Emily Rose Thompson. Mommy used to love flowers, so I draw them for her." She showed the paper in her hand. There were daisies drawn with rough pencil strokes. "But I get very tired now. Do your fingers shake sometimes too?" Elizabeth was surprised. The child had noticed the tremors that came with her old age. "Yes, Emily, sometimes they do. Mine do too. But I think they shake with love, because when I love something very much, my hands shake more." Elizabeth slowly sat on the edge of the bed. Protocols, rules, 70 years of royal experience, everything became meaningless in that moment. In front of her was just a small, innocent but incredibly wise child. "Emily, do you miss your mommy very much?" "A lot. But I'm not sad, because I'll see her soon." "Have you ever missed someone very much?" This question hit Elizabeth hard. She thought of Philip, her parents, all the loved ones she'd lost. "Yes, Emily, very much." "Then you understand too. Missing someone is actually a beautiful thing, because it means the person you love lives in your heart. Those who experience such moments find their hearts grow." Emily's next question would put Elizabeth in a situation she never expected. "Is being Queen hard?" Emily asked, looking at Elizabeth with big eyes. "Because I saw you on television. You always look serious. Don't you ever smile?" Elizabeth was surprised. For 70 years, no one had asked her this question so directly, especially not a 7-year-old child. "Sometimes it's very hard, Emily. I always try to do the right thing." "But what's the right thing?" Emily interrupted. "Mommy always said, the right thing is what your heart tells you. Do you listen to your heart?" This simple but profound question shook Elizabeth deeply. When was the last time she'd listened to her heart? Royal duties, protocols, state affairs. When had she heard her own voice among all these? "Why do you ask, Emily?" "Because I'm fighting being sick too. And you're fighting being Queen, I think. We're both very strong women, aren't we?" This comparison surprised Elizabeth. A 7-year-old child saw herself as equal to her. Emily continued, "You know, because I'm sick, I love everyone more now. Because my time is short. Do you love people a lot because you're Queen? Or don't you have time to love?" Elizabeth's eyes filled with tears. Answering this question was much harder than expected, because the truth was, protocols had often prevented her from loving. "Emily," Elizabeth said with a trembling voice, I think I've forgotten how to love." "Then I'll remind you," Emily said with a smile. "It's actually very easy. Those who experience such moments find their hearts grow."
"Emily," Elizabeth said, her voice trembling, "being queen has sometimes distanced me from people. I couldn't even hug my own children enough. But you're reminding me of something I forgot." "What?" "What it means to love people just for the sake of loving them." Emily's face lit up. "It's very easy for me, because my time is short, so I love everyone very much. You can try too. It's never too late," Elizabeth thought. "But Emily, I'm 96 years old. It might be too late." "Mummy died when she was 30, Emily said calmly. "But even on her last day, she showed me her love. Age doesn't matter, heart matters." Elizabeth looked at the child in amazement. A 7-year-old child was giving her a lesson she couldn't learn in 70 years of reign. "Emily, can I tell you something? Something I've never told anyone? Of course, secrets are safe with me. Sometimes I'm very lonely. Being queen is very different from being human sometimes. Even though the palace is so big, I feel very small," Emily thought. Then she touched Elizabeth's hand. "But you're not alone right now. I'm here, and I love you very much because you came to me." These words melted Elizabeth's heart. "You're not alone either, Emily. I'm here too." "Then neither of us is alone anymore," Emily said. "We're friends. Those who experience such moments never forget them." Emily's next move would become the turning point of Elizabeth's life.
Emily suddenly hugged Elizabeth. She wrapped her little arms around her neck and whispered, "You're a very good queen, but don't forget that you're an even better person. I can feel it." Elizabeth had followed protocol for 70 years. Even hugs followed certain rules. Members of the royal family didn't show too much emotional closeness in public, but in that moment, feeling that little child's warmth, she forgot all the rules. She hugged Emily tightly. All the emotions that had accumulated for 70 years poured out through her tears. "Emily, you've given me a very special gift." "What gift?" "You reminded me that I'm human again. Not just a queen, but a person." Emily lifted her head from Elizabeth's shoulder. "But you were already human. You just forgot. Sometimes grown-ups forget important things." At that moment, there was a noise at the door. Nurse Sarah entered and froze at the sight before her. One of the world's most powerful women was crying while hugging a dying 7-year-old child. "I'm sorry, Your Majesty. I didn't want to disturb." "No, Sarah," Elizabeth said without letting go of Emily. "You're not disturbing. This is a very important moment." At that moment, Elizabeth remembered how critical Emily's condition was. How could this child be so wise, so full of love, when she was so close to death? Emily's next request would confront Elizabeth with a moment she would never forget. "Your Majesty," Emily said softly, "can I ask you something? It's very important." "Of course, darling. You can ask anything." Emily hesitated for a moment, then took a deep breath. "When I go away, will you do something for me?" Elizabeth's breath caught. The child spoke about death so casually that it deeply shook her. "Emily, you're not going anywhere. The doctors are doing everything they can." "Your Majesty," Emily said, surprising her with her maturity. "We both know. Talk to Dr. Sarah. She's very sad too, but she told me the truth. But it's not a sad thing. It's just a different place." Elizabeth's tears couldn't be stopped. "What do you want me to do, Emily? Will you come to the other patients? Will you hug them too? Because they need you too. Your hugs are very beautiful. They warm my heart." This request devastated Elizabeth. This little child was thinking about others, even while facing death. "But Emily, they're sick like you too." "Yes, they're like me. That's why I understand them. You'll understand them now too, because you spent time with me." Elizabeth thought, "Emily, I'll hug not only them, but my family more too. You taught me how important this is." "Really?" Emily's face lit up with joy. "Then I'm very happy. I learned a lot from you, and you learned from me. Have you experienced such moments of change too?" Emily's final words would completely change Elizabeth's life. Emily was getting tired, but she didn't want to leave Elizabeth's side. Her little hand was still in Elizabeth's. "Your Majesty, can I say one more thing? It's very important." "Of course, sweetheart. You can say anything." Emily leaned close to Elizabeth's ear and whispered, "Being queen is very important, but loving is more important, and you're a very loving person. You just need to show it. People love you, but you should show them that you love them too." These words echoed in Elizabeth's heart. She thought about how her 70 years of royal duty had cost her. She couldn't hug her children enough, couldn't show her emotions, had remained distant. "Emily, you changed my life, without even realizing it. I just reminded you," Emily said with a smile. "You were already beautiful. You have so much love inside, you just didn't let it come out." Elizabeth stayed there for 30 more minutes. She held Emily's hand, told her stories, hugged her. These 30 minutes were more valuable, more meaningful than her 70-year reign. Emily asked her questions about the royal family. "Do you have grandchildren?" "Yes, I have beautiful grandchildren." "Do you hug them?" Elizabeth hesitated. "In the past, I couldn't hug them much. Why? Protocols, rules, but they're your grandchildren. Are rules more important than love?" Elizabeth smiled. "No, Emily, they're not. You're right. Those who experience such moments know what it means." As Elizabeth left the hospital, she didn't know that the news she would receive would completely devastate her. When Elizabeth had to leave the hospital, Emily hugged her. "Your Majesty, don't forget me, and don't forget the things you promised." "I'll never forget you, Emily. You'll live in my heart. I love you very much too. You're the most beautiful queen because you have the most beautiful heart." A week later, the news came. Dr. Sarah had called. Emily had passed away. Her last words had been about Elizabeth. "Tell the Queen not to forget her promise." Elizabeth's heart was shattered, but at the same time, she was grateful. This little angel had given her life's most precious lesson. At the funeral, Elizabeth broke protocol and hugged Emily's family friends who had wanted to adopt her but were too late. The media was surprised, but it didn't matter to her anymore. She was living the lesson Emily had taught her. She left flowers at Emily's grave along with a note. "Dear Emily Rose, thank you for teaching me how to love. I'm keeping my promise. I'm listening to my heart now." That day, when Elizabeth returned to Buckingham Palace, the first thing she did was call Charles. "Charles, will you come? Your mother wants to hug you. I missed you so much." Charles was surprised but came. Elizabeth hugged him tightly. "My son, I love you, and I won't let it stay like this anymore." Emily's influence would begin to be seen not only in Elizabeth, but throughout the entire royal family. After Emily's death, Elizabeth had become a completely different person. She now hugged children during official visits and didn't hide her emotions. The press called it Queen's New Era. She began seeing Anne more often. For the first time, she told her daughter, "I love you." She learned to call Andrew and say, "I missed you." She showed Edward her support for his art. She had put Emily's lesson into practice. Loving, hugging, being human. Being queen wasn't an obstacle to these things. It made them even more important. She began making regular visits to Great Ormond Street Hospital. She would talk to every sick child, hug them, share the lesson Emily had given her. One day a little patient asked her, "Why do you come here, Your Majesty?" "Because I met an angel here. She taught me very important things. I want to share them with you." Those who experience the power of such moments know. The letter Elizabeth wrote in her final days showed how important Emily had been to her. In Elizabeth's final years, the moment that had affected her most was still those 30 minutes she spent with Emily. That little child had taught her life's greatest truth. One day William had asked, "Grandmother, what changed you the most in your life?" Elizabeth had answered without thinking, "A 7-year-old child hugging me and teaching me that love is more important than protocol." "Who is this child, Grandmother?" "Emily Rose Thompson, my little teacher." Elizabeth always kept Emily's picture on her desk. When making daily decisions, she would ask herself, what would Emily say? The lesson Emily taught didn't stay only with Elizabeth. It spread to the entire royal family. William and Harry hugged their children more. Charles did the same. This chain continued because the love Emily had planted would last for generations. In Elizabeth's final television address, she had mentioned Emily. "The wisest person I met in my life was a 7-year-old child. She gave me the most important lesson. Love is stronger than everything." Families who experience such moments never forget them. In the diary Elizabeth wrote in her final days, these lines appeared. "I reigned for 70 years. I met thousands of people. I tried to fulfill my royal duties properly. But the 30 minutes that changed my life the most were spent with a dying 7-year-old child. Emily Rose Thompson didn't teach me how to be queen. She taught me how to be human. She showed me that the crown may be on my head, but the heart is in my chest, and the heart is always more important than the crown. At Elizabeth's funeral, there was also a delegation from Great Ormond Street Hospital. They were carrying Emily's picture too, which read, "A Queen's Teacher," because that little girl had changed a queen's life. The words written on Elizabeth's tombstone were chosen with Emily's inspiration. The Queen who taught love, Elizabeth Rose. Her middle name had been made Rose in memory of Emily. The lesson Emily taught still lives on. Elizabeth's grandchildren hug their children more, don't hide their emotions. The royal family's new tradition has been shaped by Emily's lesson. Perhaps you too have experienced such moments of change. Because sometimes the greatest lessons come from the smallest teachers. Sometimes the person who will change our lives comes from an unexpected place. This story reminds us, love is stronger than protocol, rank and age. And sometimes a 7-year-old child can give a 96-year-old queen life's most precious lesson. May Emily Rose Thompson's soul rest in peace, because she changed not only her own life, but the life of a queen, her family, and therefore millions of people. The effect of her love will last for generations.